Hi, this is Miss Lana with Noble Root Herbs. As I promised, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make maca truffles today. I'm going to do this in two parts because, again, I'm still needing to get my my audio and visual department up to speed, right? So we're actually going to be using Anthony's Maca Root powder. I use gelatinized. I like the gelatinized because of, well, it's not as gritty, and it's really great for baking and adding into things. And it's also been batch tested, and they're kind of a silly company too. It says, please don't look under the bag. It said, quite the rule breaker. We dig that. I like that they're kind of fun, but as you can see, it's organic. To me, it's a trusted brand. I've never had a problem with it. It's affordable. You can get this on Amazon or at your local health food store. And then we also have our cacao powder. Organic. You don't have to use organic. I just prefer to do organic because then that way you know that there's no funky business inside of your foods, because sometimes when they come from overseas they put additives in them and things of that nature. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add in honey, and I like to use local honey whenever possible, and this is a really good brand. This is Crockett's honey. It's one of my favorites. It's right here in Tempe. And then if you want to do this maca truffle completely vegan, you can actually do vegetable glycerin. This is a nice little brand to use as well. It's kosher. It's got all the testing done on it, certified. It's great. But vegetable glycerin, it can be a nice replacement for honey for those of you, again, that are vegan. So we're going to start actually we're going to use a spoon, and I'm just going to put about a third cup, actually I'm just going to put all this in. It's about a third cup of maca. I'm going to leave a little bit out. It's kind of like when you're making a pie crust. You want to go a little bit at a time until you get a nice dough, because that's going to be our actual truffle. So I'm going to go ahead and put this honey in here. It's a little less than a third cup. Again, I eyeball this. You guys don't have to measure it, per measure. Again, it's just like making a pie crust. You're going to add a little bit at a time until you get the consistency that's going to look like a dough. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in about 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. And what I find is when you're adding, you can do peanut butter and some other things, like peanut butter powder. You can do protein powder if you want to like soup these up. But the reason why we're doing maca is because maca is really big in the workout world, the fitness world and all of that. It does give you energy. This is something you don't really want to eat at night unless you want energy in the evening. It will keep you up. It's also great for hormone balancing without adding hormones to your body. So it's going to work that pituitary gland and the hypothalamus, and it really goes in and it balances our hormones. It's also called Peruvian ginseng. Again, that's that factor of energy that's added in with its constituents. It's fortified with tons of micronutrients, all kinds of really great trace minerals, all the vitamin A, B, C's. I mean, this is a powerhouse of nutrients. As far as for men, it does favor men quite a bit because they call it jungle Viagra for a reason, and it will kind of help in the bedroom, if you get what I'm saying, to help with longevity in that department. And for women, it's been shown now with more studies, it does help with PMS. Again, it's balancing hormones. It's helping even women that are going through menopause with hot flashes, and kind of calms those down, helps with mood swings from anything to do with hormonal imbalances and things of that nature. So as you see here, it almost looks like peanut butter at this stage. Now, I like it a little bit more thick than that, because again, I want to go for like a nougat consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the maca here, and you'll really start to see a dough forming. And then once we get this dough formed, we're gonna roll this into little bite-sized balls, kind of like if you were to make drop cookies, about the same size. You can make them as big or as small as you like. I usually do about a tablespoon. No, actually like about a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half size. I take it back. About a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. And this stuff is sticky because we're using honey. And you can add a little bit of distilled water in here if for some reason you put too much maca or too much cocoa or cacao powder. It's okay. I always go with distilled when I'm making anything that's not really going to get baked because one, it kind of keeps from mold and things forming. But with this is pretty much a no-bake recipe. You don't have to worry about that. So you're going to take, right now, it's about the consistency of taffy. It doesn't really look very good. I would probably go ahead and just add a little bit more maca powder to this because it's a little bit gooey. I'm going to do that right now. And we're just going to sprinkle that in. So again, start with about a 1/3 cup and then really work. You're going to want to really work this in there. And again, it's just like pie crust. I mean, I cannot stress enough. You can just add, you can always add. And if you need moisture, distilled water or spring water. Never, I just stay away from tap. I'm not, obviously I don't drink tap water. I do, you know, cook with it from time to time. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, I always go for the other water. Okay. So even now, even with the powder on there, it's fine. You can just go ahead and grab a little bit. And you're going to make a little ball. And you're going to put that on a lined plate or cookie sheet. I like to do parchment paper, as you can see. Just makes it easier, makes life easier. Less steps involved. It's not going to stick to anything. This is a really good consistency because once we get the chocolate going and get it tempered, we are going to coat these and it'll almost be like a musketeer when it's done. It will just be like very similar to a musketeer nougat. And if they're too sticky, a little trick you can do when you're making these is you can actually roll them in more cocoa powder so they don't stick to the paper. It's totally fine to do that. Like this. Because remember, you're making truffles. So instead of doing like a ganache, it's maca. This is a great starter. Again, if you want to do protein powder, if you want to do peanut butters, you can pretty much, the possibilities are endless. You can add vanilla, you know, powders in here. I mean, whatever, you know, you want to experiment with. So I'm going to make this again a 2-part video, and I'm going to turn this off, and then when you come back, we're going to be tempering the chocolate and coating these and then showing the finished result.